Hello, a very quick video to tell you about my favorite edition of Dracula. As you know, what happens with these books, especially the ones that were written in Victorian times, is that they have some censorship, some changes, some adaptations. And I like to read the books as they were intended. And so I bring you here the official edition. I don't remember the publishing house. I have a horrible memory. It's somewhere there in the cover or whatever. But it's very important to read these books and to have them in the official version, in the official edition, because there are editions out there that have some notes, changes, censorship, and I think that's disgraceful. If I read something written in the beginning of the 20th century, 19th century, 18th century, I expect to be reading the same version that the people would at the time. So what we see nowadays is a lot of editions that have changes that somehow have been censored in one way or another to be like more polite or to avoid some particular ideology or whatever. And I don't really think it's a productive way of approaching literature. I think that if somebody is interested in books, their intellectual abilities allow them to discern what is right and what is wrong, and what is a product of the time they were living, the product of the author's time, and what shouldn't be replicated nowadays. I don't think anyone is reading like medieval warfare books and laying siege to their favorite supermarket or anything like that. So I don't see how Dracula should be any different. This edition that I bring you today is the one that has no changes, no censorship, everything is there. And of course, it's an official edition, so it doesn't have any footnotes or any of that sort. You will find that most librarians and bookstore managers and like most people related one way or another with literature will be recommending you official editions, because the commercial editions, the editions that have notes, are usually some sort of showcase for the editor to show his knowledge or his opinions or something like that. And it's not something that experts tend to enjoy when reading a book. Some people who buy official editions are usually some of the best experts in the field, people who have studied the author, the works, and that's why I don't think that type of reader requires footnotes about Victorian times society, or to be reading somebody's opinion with some prologue or something like that. Like if that's the type of material that we would look for if we were interested. Like before, it made sense to include footnotes and prologues and all that stuff inside a book, because people didn't have any way of knowing that information. But nowadays, as soon as you encounter a word that you don't understand or a concept that you think, hey, wait, that's a bit strange for nowadays standards, then you can just Google it and see if people share your thoughts or if they explain it in some way. And I guess that's the way to go. So whenever I talk about classics, me and most of my colleagues would recommend you official editions from any publishing house, from any country, but let it be official and without any commercial information, without any footnotes, without any changes. That's how literature should be read, particularly in the classics. So you are watching there the the main edition that I would recommend for Dracula, if you have some possibility to read it, to find it in some library, bookstore, and that's all for today, I guess. Nothing else to say about Dracula. It's a wonderful book. I'm sure that you know the character, so I'm not going to explain you who Dracula is. Enjoy the book and enjoy this edition.